Shannon, did you know that Jeffrey Dahmer wore Dior to the Golden Globes last night?
Jeffrey Dahmer's dead.
You mean Evan Peters? Because you scared the shit out of me. I'm like, what?
You are listening to the Quinn-tessentials podcast.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Do we look like we're glowing? You don't know because you're listening.
Joe Glow.
Do we got that Joe Glow, baby?
We glow.
It's so good.
I'm so excited that we're taking the time to record right now because I have felt so empty the past 48 hours. It's been unreal.
It's been a lot of emotion, on and off crying and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm still processing. I feel like my body hasn't fully accepted what just happened. And if you have no idea what we're talking about,
How do you not, first of all?
True. I will call you Patrick because you live under a rock. But I will say we, Laura, Shannon, and Danielle, have officially told Joseph Quinn about our podcast.
He knows.
He knows. And it's confirmed. Do you know why it's confirmed? Because we have the audio. We were the ones that told him directly. And he had no idea. He had no idea.
No idea.
No clue. Turns out the world is not as small as we think it is.
He honestly, we'll go more into detail of the actual moment that we were in front of him and we got to tell him about the podcast a little later in today's episode. So make sure that you stick around because we're going to be going day by day, telling you about all of the interactions that we had. The first time we saw him, the first time we heard that voice in our ears, the first time we saw his chocolate buttons. We're going to tell you everything. So make sure that you stay the whole episode because not only are you going to be getting the details today on this episode, we're breaking this into 2 parts because we have so much to tell you. So season 2 is opening up with a 2-part premiere, baby.
Ow! Oh my God. My heart. There's so much happening.
Palpitations.
So where should we even start?
Let's talk about when we found out that this was happening.
Oh,
I
God.
remember that vividly.
Here's the thing. What is it, a month and a half ago?
Yeah, it's been about a month. God, it feels like so long ago.
It was just before Thanksgiving when I bought mine.
Yeah.
November 19th, I think is the date I bought it.
It was mid-November. We found out that Joseph was going to make an appearance finally after we had talked about him not coming to the States to do a con for literal weeks. We had seen him agree to do all these other cons around the world and not a single one was going to be here. And then he was going to start off the year doing Fan Expo New Orleans.
Ooh, we lost our minds. I remember when they posted, "Who's this?" And some sweet angel on the internet took the time and found the exact photo. That was the photo they used that purpled out his face.
Yeah.
And we knew before it was announced, we knew that Joseph was coming to the States and we were ready, cards in hand, ready to make that transaction.
Yeah.
Because we made a commitment. We said the first con he attends in the US, we were all going to be there. And sure as shit, we said yes.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
From that point on, everything just happened so freaking quickly. We submitted our media pass request. We were approved. Jerry.
Shout out to Jerry.
Jerry Milani.
Jerry.
What a 10. Beyond that, what do you say? You know what I mean?
The rest is history. The rest is history.
This was the first time the 3 of us were in the same room for the first time.
It was so great.
Yeah.
Meeting you guys in real life was, I'm not going to say was better than meeting Joe, but it was really close.
Understandable.
Honestly, it can be so nerve-wracking too, because I've only seen you guys through the screen. And the truth is that like, what if we fucking hate each other in person? You know? What if like we just didn't vibe in person? There are people that like just their internet personalities don't line up with their in-person personalities. I'm a little ballsier on here than I am in person. You know?
That is not true.
You
That's
don't
not
think so?
true. You're very ballsy and witty and amazing.
Yeah.
I found myself a little bit nervous. I landed in New Orleans and I was walking to baggage claim and I said to myself, I'm about to meet Laura right now. And I found myself a little bit nervous, not because I was scared I wasn't going to like you, but because there has been a lot of times in my life where I'm a lot. And so I was afraid that like, what if they don't like me? And it was from the get-go, from the moment I laid eyes on you, I was like, I love
This is
her.
I felt the same way, and the same with Shannon whenever I met Shannon. But it was so funny because I felt myself being so nervous around you that first like initial 30 minutes. I remember being like, what do we do now? Like, do we hang out at the airport and get to know each other a little better? Like, what the fuck?
So you're saying you felt nervous around me because you hit it very well.
I always had that very well. I did musical theater for 6 years.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, does my personality match what you guys get on the internet?
Yeah.
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 She's a 10 out of 10. You guys were spitting images of who you portray yourselves as on the internet, in my opinion. And I'm so excited that we all got along, and it was just automatically great because we had to share a room with each other all weekend.
Yeah.
And that can get a bit messy with 3 women.
I
would
wasn't nervous
disagree.
meeting either of you. Honestly,
Really?
I was just like, this is going to be awesome. We're finally going to be reunited. And it was kind of like, just like we were apart for a while.
Yeah.
For me, that's it.
Well, and I was going to say to Danielle's point, like, I would disagree. I think Shannon is just like the cutest little ball, and like she's like the cutest little like nugget, and I just want to hug her, and I just want to like carry her around everywhere, and she's so tiny and cute.
Yeah.
Am I a chicken nugget?
You're a chicken nugget.
chicken nugget.
A chicken nugget. Okay.
I think my favorite memory of meeting Shannon was I actually met her after leaving the bathroom at the convention center, and I saw her across Lobby J, and I literally went into a full sprint. I was like, Shannon!
It was slow motion.
Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da.
Everything about this weekend went so outrageously. We had a couple speed bumps along the way, but even then it wasn't enough to like put a dent in the weekend. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everything was so perfect. Yeah. We just immediately set the tone with the most amazing, incredible meetup. It was like small and not, you know, like most of the people arrived on Saturday, so not a lot of people showed up, but it was so special to like be able to see people and that showed up, and we took some pictures with some people, and we got to meet Erin, who's a good friend of ours. I mean, she was like decked out in Poison Ivy, cosplay. I mean, she looked amazing, and so did her husband, Keegan. What a 10. Shout out to Keegan.
Yes, shout out to Keegan. He is honestly, listen, can I just talk about Keegan for a second?
Please.
Because Erin's husband needs a shout out. He has listened to not only Erin just talk about Joe since he came into her life, but he came with her to this con and then heard all of us talk about Joe all weekend. And then he was asked on the way home from Erin, we should listen to the Quinn-tessentials podcast so you can see what they actually do, see like what they do in real life. And he's like, listen, I've listened to this all weekend. I don't need to listen to the podcast. And I said, Keegan, listen, you're the real MVP, honestly, because he was so supportive and into our conversations, and he was just as excited to be there as we were. I know he secretly was just loving every second of it, but you just give us a shout, Keegan, whenever you want to hop onto one of these episodes. We'll definitely have you on.
I would love love to get Keegan's perspective on this whole past weekend.
Yes, that would be great.
Oh my God. What if we got just like boyfriend/spouse perspective and have Adam and Keegan on?
We could also have, what is her name? Grisella? Griselle? I'm so sorry if I'm getting your name wrong.
I think it's Griselle and her husband.
Yeah, he was like there too. And he was so like,
oh yeah.
We love supporting spouses and partners and significant others that are just along with us on this journey.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming along, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, everything about this weekend was fucking perfect.
It was perfect.
We started Friday off so right because we met this amazing artist.
Mm-hmm.
And Shannon got to meet him a little later, but Shannon had like her own sort of like whirlwind day. Do we want to talk about that, or do you want to just like...
I just didn't have my baggage yet, so I was just sad. But then I just showed up without my stuff, and I was just like, hey guys, I'm ready to have fun now.
She showed up. We were just so, and the thing is, like, during our meetup, everybody was like, where's Shannon? Where's Shannon? We're like, she's almost here. By the time she showed up to the meetup, that entrance was epic.
So good.
It was so good.
I missed it, but I heard that it was just Shannon.
It was like, oh yeah. It was like Edward Cullen's first shot in Twilight. That's how dramatic and exciting it was when Shannon walked up.
I missed that.
Because I could see her like walking up from like far away and like her black skirt, and she had like a bunch of bags on her, and like, yeah.
That's it. We're going back and we're redoing it.
We're redoing the whole Joe was there doing, here's the thing. There were so many people there just for Joe.
Yeah.
Us included.
Hi.
There were so many people there that were there just for Joe. And so they added that extra time on Friday for him to do like the autograph table and do photos. And I mean, people were meeting him right then and there, and they had these amazing experiences with him. And he was, I guess, in this all black get. I feel like every time he does these conventions, the first thing he's always wearing is like all black. And I wonder if it's because he comes straight from the airport.
Yeah, his outfit from the airport.
Yes, I wonder if that's his outfit getup.
Airport attire.
Yeah. Right before Shannon came, speak with Joe already being in the building, Laura and I went upstairs just to kind of check out where some of the panels were going to be. And I looked at her and I said, Laura, this is the closest we've ever been to Joe. And she about fell over, you guys. Like
I did fall over. What are you talking about? My soul left my body.
He could be
and
behind
then they
wall.
repeated it when I came in. They repeated, hey, Shannon, by the way, this is the closest we've ever been. I was just like, dead.
And then I got that first glimpse of him because we went to go.
Because you're tall.
Danielle is a tall bitch. Let me tell you, she is a tall glass of water. Listen, she is perfect in every sense of the word. But the only thing that I hate about it is that she got a clear fucking shot of Joseph.
I did. So we were getting our barcode scanned to get our tickets for our autographs that weekend. And I just looked up over I think it was one of his handlers. And I did find out that the guy with the shaggy hair that was at the curtain, his name is David. Shout out David. He travels with the con, so he will probably be the main one that's at the curtain. So if you see David at some cons, he's got shaggy hair. He looks like he's from a rock band. Make sure that you say hi to him. But I just peeked right over his shoulder and Joe's head came up and I saw his smile and about shat myself. I was like, this man is real. And then I immediately was like, you guys, I saw him. Like, I'm getting teary-eyed just thinking about it because but. And
then I'm like, where? And you're like, look. And then Aaron's like, oh, I see it. Cause you both are super tall. And I'm just down here like, how's the weather up there?
Pick me up. And I'm over here like, maybe if I get on
this man's shoulder.
If I get on my tippy toes, maybe I can see him. No, I couldn't see him at all. I gave up.
I tried to jump a couple times and I was like, nope.
Yeah. But from that moment on, it was amazing. Like once I laid eyes on him, I was ready to go. I was like, let's get all the content. Let's meet all the people. Let's meet this man because I'm ready to go.
I mean, we were there to work. We were there to do
we
work.
Put in the work.
Yeah.
Like we didn't just wear those press passes because they were cute. We went in and we interviewed so many people and we met so many people and we were back and forth all day long. Like it was such an amazing experience.
My feet still hurt.
Still.
Like, now, did I do it to myself because I decided to wear fucking 5-inch pumps to the last day? Absolutely. But you know what? Fashion over function. Beauty is pain. That first night, I mean, we got right off the bat, we got to meet so many amazing people. I do need to give, and maybe we'll do this at the end again, but we did have a listener, Holly, who was absolutely amazing. She's so sweet. And so we'll talk about her a little more once we get to Sunday. Friday was like it was like an easy, not as overwhelming start to the week. I never got to go back to the artist that we met. His name is Adam. If you are interested in learning more, he goes by Adam's Art Box. He attends a lot of the cons. He will be at MegaCon. He's going to Cleveland. I believe he's also going to Portland. You can find him as Adam's Art Box on Instagram. He did this beautiful pen drawing of Joe. Oh my gosh, yes.
There it is.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's what it looks like. Yeah, he did that. And so it was so beautiful that Danielle decided to have Joseph sign that print from Adam. So we did buy 2 prints from Adam, and then the third one was free. And we picked this amazing Vecna print. And he asked us that if we ever got to meet Jamie, that we gave Jamie that print. And so we were like, sure, no problem. So we walked away, and I'm looking over at Danielle. Danielle's actually filling me in on the fact, because I think he actually asked Danielle to do it. And once Danielle kind of filled me in on that, I was like, wait, he wants us to give it to Jamie? Like, he needs to go write a note for Jamie if he wants us to give it to him. Like, absolutely. So we went back and we told him, and he got so excited. And he was like, oh, I got to think about this. And, and his wife was, his wife was gorgeous. And the more the weekend progressed and we got to see Adam and talk to him and his wife, the more I was like, and I know his wife is going to be like, why did you say that? It's going to go straight to his head. But I will say this, and I will die on this hill. Adam gives me 2023 Eddie Munson vibes.
Yes, 100%.
And if you listen to this podcast and you are an Eddie Munson fan, go check him out. Pick up on the vibe, because I swear it will not disappoint. Like, his vibe, I promise you, if you see him, you'll feel like Eddie got his happy ending. You know what I'm saying? He is an incredible artist. I know. I was thinking about, and I was talking to his wife on Instagram, and I was like, you guys are amazing. Like, and I think I got that vibe because I also watched their wedding video, and I was like, oh my God, they're so cute.
Oh, did I tell you guys that they were on my flight home to Kansas City?
What? Wait, Adam and Kaylee?
That's right.
Yeah, Adam and Kaylee. So I'm sitting there, and we probably have like 45 minutes left of the flight. And I look up because I also bumped into a Joe Quinn fan who went to the Fan Expo and is a fan of the podcast. And I'm like, what the heck is happening here? And I'm like, am I in the Twilight Zone right now?
Oh my God.
What's going on? And I look up and I go, Adam? And then he looks at me after he gets out of the bathroom and he goes, hello? And I go, what are you doing on my flight? Why are you following me? And he goes, oh my God, I can't believe it. What a coincidence. And then he went up and told his wife, and I was just like, hi. Yeah. It was
so
crazy.
funny.
It's very
so check him out. They're Adam's Art Box. And we have an interview with him. So we'll put that on our socials too. So you can check it out too and see what I'm talking about. So definitely check it out. They deserve all the success that's coming their way. So that's what happened on Friday. We did the meetup. Danielle got a really solid glimpse of Joseph. Shannon showed up. And we were like, let's go out. And then we're like, no.
No, I'm pretty sure I passed out on the bed still in my clothes.
I think you did. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, okay, bye.
And then cut to the next day.
The day. We woke up to a call from the front desk about patches.
Can I tell this story?
Of course you can tell this story. Tell the world, Laura.
Please.
Okay, I gotta pull up the vendor. His name's Isaac. He does patches. If you want to buy patches for our podcast, you can do so on this Etsy shop. We're not making any money off of it. It's just if you happen to fucking want something, you can absolutely go on this. But I will let you know, he is absolutely incredible. And it's under yOu Prince Studio, Prince with a Z. The owner of the shop, his name is Isaac, or at least the person that responded. Listen, I ordered these patches 3 weeks ago. I told him, I said, I need these patches to be delivered by January 3rd. Did I need them by January 3rd? No, but I wanted a buffer. I needed 2 days buffer because I was like, listen, if they don't get here by January 3rd, they'll certainly get here by January 5th, which is when I'm leaving. Boy, was I wrong. January 3rd rolls around and he's like, I didn't have time to overnight the patches, but I'll overnight them tonight. So you'll have them by the 4th. I'm like, great. 4th rolls around, I don't have them. 5th rolls around, I don't have them. I have to leave for New Orleans. Isaac prints them again and ships them directly to the hotel. And they get there first thing in the morning on Saturday. So we go downstairs, we pick up the patches, and it's 2 types of patches. The first one is the one that goes on the back of our denim jackets that says the Quinn-tessentials podcast. And then this like little tiny like round patch with our logo on it. Oh my God.
In case someone has a visual.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the backpack.
That's the first one. And then you have the little one. Look at it. Oh, it's so cute. So we end up getting them. And the initial plan was to give the little one to Joe, although I kind of changed my mind because I thought he looked like he had a little bit of an afro. So I changed my mind. Anyways, I digress. What can I say?
Pulling off like Justin Timberlake when NSYNC first opened and he had the ramen noodle curls.
It was giving ramen noodle curls.
Hair looked like.
Listen,
ramen noodles.
But once we put the patches on, I thought it looked so good. I decided to have Joe sign off on my jacket.
Oh my God, you guys. We need to get a picture of that and post it to the Instagram. The people need to see that because that looks so good.
But I digress.
You need a little backstory. That denim jacket that she just showed is the jacket that helped us tell Joe about the podcast.
Indeed.
We iron the patches. We go to the con. We line up to take the photos. And it's getting fucking real. Okay, it is. But it's cool. I think the most amazing part about all of this is that in between these things, we're talking to people that listen to the podcast or people that follow us on TikTok that are making us feel so much better. And they are just the sweetest. I mean, Phyllis.
I love you, Phyllis.
Phyllis was amazing. We got to meet Kit or Wild Hearts. We got to meet Erica. We got to meet all these really, really wonderful people. Griselle.
Summer.
Can we talk about Summer?
Yes, I know. Let's pause on our picture because our first interaction with Summer before Laura takes over with the most epic story time of all time.
Yeah.
Our day on Friday started with Summer. Parked. I opened the door and I turned around. First person I saw, Summer. And she turns around and she has this look on her face like,
jaw dropped.
My God. Jaw dropped, hands in the air, like, what is happening? And then we're like, what is wrong with this woman? Just kidding.
No.
She goes, I was just listening to you guys. And I go, oh my God. And she runs over and I gave her a hug. And she was a constant this whole weekend, always checking in, stopping in and chatting with us. And she helped in what we have called
Cupgate.
Cupgate.
We'll get to that.
Cupgate. And we're going to get to that because listen, that is a wild ride. But Summer, shout out to you because you truly started our weekend on such a high, and I am so excited that I got to meet you because I love you to pieces.
My first experience with Summer was on Thursday when I was on my way to the Panhandle, and she had posted that video while she was on her way to the convention, and she was talking about how she only listens to 3 podcasts and how that like we're one of them, and how she had this like physical, visceral response to the things that we were saying. And I was like, that's what we want out of this podcast. We want people to be that excited about it. And so when I saw her, I was like, I just watched your
so
TikTok.
You two had the same reaction. I thought that she was just some lady.
Well, okay, so like, but like the thing is, when that happened, I was like, she looks so familiar. Oh my God, that's the girl that I just saw yesterday. Because I literally asked her, I said, didn't you just post on TikTok about us? And she was like, yes. she was a rock star. I mean, the whole weekend, she made like new friends with this girl, Demi, who was so cute. She had this like different shades of teal, like color hair. And she like walked up and she's like, I am by myself. Can I be friends with you guys? And by the end of the weekend, her and Summer and that group of friends were like inseparable. And it was just so good to see.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, they were so good. I felt bad that we didn't talk about Summer in the beginning, but I think we can cut back to the photo line.
Can I just mention like my interaction with Summer? Because I was not, of course, with you guys when you first met Summer.
Yeah.
So we were walking around, and that's after Danielle got her little glimpsey of Joe, and we made eye contact, and she went. And then she was like, I already talked to them earlier, but now you're here. And she like came up to me just like that. And I'm like, yes, I'm finally here.
She has the best energy, I tell you. And God, I hope she makes it so far. Yeah. So Summer, if you're listening, we love you very much. It was so fun to meet you. And then, I mean, the photo op line. Look,
I'm excited because we get to tell them about our individual experiences because listen, I've been holding this in. I've been wanting to make a story time on TikTok since it happened, but I have been refraining. And we all have great stories. So we'll do Laura's first. And
I think you need to talk about yours. Go ahead.
Okay. So for the people that went, you know the process. You go up, you get your barcode scanned, and then you go into this separate little tent area. They're like, anything you don't want in the picture, take off and put on the shelf. So we get in there and we take our stuff off, and it's me, Laura, and a cute little family in front of us. And then they open up the curtain, and I see him for the first time. And I literally was like, I had to grab hold of something. And so I grabbed hold of Laura's arm and I squeezed it probably too hard. And I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It is okay.
So they shuffle us into this room, and this family goes, and they're so lucky. This family got like the golden ticket. They took their picture, and you hear Joe go, hold. Because there was a glare. And then so they took it again, and then they went to leave, and then they got called back because they had to take their picture again. And I'm like, that's the best experience anybody could ever ask for.
I should have kept my glasses on.
I told you. So I'll let Laura tell her part, but Laura went before me, and I'm freaking out. Once Laura left my vicinity, I was losing my mind. Like, on the outside, you couldn't tell, but I was internally screaming. I was like,
your inner Lizzie McGuire was going crazy.
Yes, 100%. Like, this is a man that I have grown to adore because of his work and his presence and his aura. And I've looked up to him for 7 months, and I'm about to like be next to him. So Laura, bye, get out of here. I'm just kidding. But so Laura goes to walk away, and he locks eyes with me, and I'm like, oh my God. And I take a step forward and I go, hi, Joe. And that's all I could get out. And he goes, hello. And I'm like, I'm no longer nervous. He's like
so comforting.
This overwhelming feeling of comfort came in, and he like took his arms out and he's like, come on. And I like went in and I like put my arm around him, and he put his arm around me, and he goes, are you ready? And I said, uh-huh. And then we like took our picture, and then listen, I've been replaying this in my head all day today. I looked at him, and he looked at me, and he goes, I'll see you later. Bye, love. And he winked at me. Stop. And all I could utter out was, okay, bye. I just turned around and walked away.
Okay, bye.
Our hands were like still touching, and I was, oh, okay, bye. And then I just left, and then I almost left my things. Look, I have like tears in my eyes thinking about it, but they're like, are you okay? And I go, sure, if having minor cardiac arrest is like a normal symptom after
let her away.
We leave, and I found this out like the next day. I never got my digital copy because I was so just all over the place that I walked past the person that checks you out of your photo, and they didn't scan my photo to send me the email that had my digital attachment. That's why I never got it. Because I was just like, see you later. I was
Ah.
like, get me out of here. Yeah. So that was my first experience with Joe. And I would not change anything about it. It was magical.
So Danielle went after me. Danielle had already gotten like a glimpse of him the day before, but the curtains were like pretty sheer. So when we were in line right next to it, and I tried to like take a peek through, and I can see his silhouette. I do that like long-winded snort laugh, and I was like, like, and I started shaking. Like, when I tell you I was shaking, I mean like it could have been 20-degree weather in there, and I would have been shaking.
Yeah.
Like, still just because of Joseph. Like, oh my gosh. So they have us go in. They put our shit down. They pull the curtain open, and it was like a slow-mo, like, I don't know, drama. Like, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, oh shit, here we go. I couldn't tell you what the fuck happened after that. No, I can. I mean, it was so fast. And here's where I missed the mark.
Yeah.
I didn't look in his eyes once. I could not. And I'm usually, and you know I'm nervous when I don't do that. I am the most intense eye contact person. Sorry, I am the second most intense eye contact person in the world.
Joseph's number one.
but I've always just had this very intense eye contact with people, and I could not bring myself to do it with him. So I walk up to him, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to give him all this energy so that maybe he'll give me like a really big like photo. And then so I put out all this energy, and you can see that cheesy like smile on my photo. But like leading up to it, I was like fixing my hair. I was practicing my pose. Like, I was so nervous. And so I walk up to him, and oh, okay. You know, I always talk about the attire. You know, talking about his fashion is my thing. Let me tell you, this boy got clothes for Christmas. I don't know if he went on a shopping spree or if Santa Claus paid him a fucking visit. I don't know what happened, but this man wore something I've never seen him wear before.
Yeah.
It was
We got a new outfit.
This light blue button-down shirt that was softer than a baby's ass, okay? Cannot. That, like,
softer than Charmin.
Softer than a Charmin, like Charmin Ultra, okay? Not there is not a sick, I don't know. Silk? Who is she? Egyptian cotton? Maybe. Okay, that shit was so soft, I could not deal with it. So I put like my hand on his back, and it was a cute, I can't even like process it right now. I don't know what was up with his jeans. He was wearing like jeans with like a side button. It was luxurious. The boy looked expensive. And I was like, here I am with my Marshall skirt and my Target t-shirt. And I'm like, he was so like lovely the whole time. And I looked at him, and I was like, it was so good to see you. He's like, yeah, you too. And then I left, and I got my picture, and I blacked out the rest of the day. What the fuck do you say? Like,
yeah.
Can I ask you a question, Laura? Because you said something, and I've been wondering, my question is, if you didn't look him in the eye until right before you left, what were you looking at when you walked up to him? The ground?
No. I was looking at him. No, I was looking at his clothes. Okay. I was looking at it. But that's the thing is, I feel like I will literally quantum leap into like the next dimension it's like a portal. His eyes. I can't.
You're just going to teleport to another dimension, right?
I was just kind of looking in the general vicinity of his face, you know?
Yeah.
I defocused my eyes, and I just kind of looked in that direction. Or maybe I was looking at the exit past him so that I could run away. Because I'm like, we did this fine.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I mean, we got the photo. I hated my photo. And then everything was fine. And then it was Shannon's turn.
Yeah, Shannon went a little later in the day.
Yeah,
so she had a little bit of time to like see us and hear our stories and kind of go into it a little bit more of an idea of what it was like. So Shannon, tell them your story, because out of the three of us on day one, she has the best photo, hands down.
Yeah.
It's like absolute perfection.
So I got there later than them, and then I ended up getting a later time for my photo op. I still didn't have my belongings, so I borrowed some of Laura's clothes, wore some of clothes that I already had. I bought makeup from CVS, so I looked presentable in front of Mr. Joseph. We all lined up, and I was completely fine. I wasn't nervous. I was like, I don't know why I'm not nervous. I'm like, this guy's been a part of my life for months now. But as you get closer, and like they said, that curtain is super sheer, I saw his silhouette, and that's when I started to like break down and cry. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not about to walk in there like crying, because I didn't feel like I could make it stop. And then Laura was like, way over there saying, no crying. No.
You're going to ruin your photo.
She knew.
Don't do it.
And so I'm like trying to put him back in there. And then I come around the corner, and you guys, there is nothing like seeing this man in person.
No.
The world stops on its axis. We all went, whoa, because he stopped the world. He stopped the world. I put my stuff down. I get in line. And so I get up there, and I'm like, hi, Joe. And he was like, hello. That was very Miss Doubtfire, but he was like, hello. And, hello. And he swung me around to his left. Well, it became both of our lefts at some point. And then I wasn't even going to like grab him or touch him. I was just going to go like, ee. And he puts his arm around me, and this other hand goes on my forearm. So then I just gracefully just leave my hand. Like, I acknowledge your arm is here. I'm not sure if I tucked this behind my back, this other arm, or if I did put on his back. I don't remember. Everything happened.
You would have known because the shirt was so soft.
You would have known. Your brain would have taken a mental note of how soft that fabric was.
I did acknowledge that he was warm. His touch was gentle and soft, like his hands. And then the light flashed, and then I automatically looked. Yeah, the flash, like for the camera.
I know.
The light flashed before my eyes. No. And then I automatically look confused because I don't know where the fuck to go. And he's like, this way, darling. And he just swings me back around. And then he was like, have a good day or whatever. And I was just like, you too. And that's when the waterworks happened. And I only really looked at him when I greeted him, because as we all know, I have trouble with eye contact. I kind of just look in between people's eyeballs or look past their head. I don't look right here. But I did look him in the eye when I said hello, because I was like, let's try to be a normal person and make eye contact at least once. But anyways, I was leaving, waterworks were happening, and people were like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And then I'm getting up there, and Danielle looks at me and she's like, I know, right? And I was like, Laura told me not to cry. And she's like, no, cry now. And then I start like really letting it go, and I'm shaking. And then these new people come up that listen to the podcast, and I'm like, I'm so sorry you're seeing me like this.
I just remember snatching her photo out of her hand because she was like clutching it to her chest while she was crying. And I said, you can cry now, but let me see your picture. It is, you couldn't ask for a better photo than the one that Shannon got. It is so like, hold it up. Let me see it. Get out of here.
Hello?
Oh,
wow.
There we go. Just a little hand. Oh, I really just acknowledge how tiny I am next to him.
Yeah. And then you look at mine, and I'm 6'1", and he's half an inch shorter than me.
I don't have mine on me.
It's okay.
Wow, that's such a good picture, Laura. You look so great.
You look amazing, girl.
This is what I look like.
You look beautiful.
No, you look great. I look like I was definitely trying not to cry. 100%. I sent that picture to my boyfriend, and he's like, you cried? And I was like, not during. And he was like, your eyes look glassy. I'm like, fuck. Like, he always knows when I've been crying.
That was Saturday was that.
Yeah.
And then
we got to meet Kel.
We got to meet Kelmo.
Yes, and I
Yeah, we continuously kind of met up throughout the weekend with Aaron and Kel. I'm going to be honest with you. I've only ever seen Kel's face, and I was expecting this tiny little bean to show up like Shannon size.
Yeah.
And when she walked up, Kel, you are so tall.
Like a model.
Like model tall. Oh my God.
And we'll let her tell you the story of her experience with Joseph. But
yeah, we're not gonna spoil that.
Boy, is that a good fucking story. Let me tell you.
So good.
Y'all think my story is good. I mean,
Exactly.
But I mean, after that, we continue to just see people, say hello. I do want to talk about Grace because what a special
What an
person.
actual angel.
I
Yes.
am the
She's
first
lovely.
day, Danielle, me, and Shannon literally just stood there watching her interact with people, and I don't even have words.
It's hard to talk about someone that being perfect comes so easily to them. It's just in her nature to be so loving and caring and in the moment with people. And we didn't really get to meet Grace. We did have interactions with her, but if you ever get an opportunity to just like get a wave from her or say hi to her or just meet with her, she seems so amazing. She is so lovely, beautiful. She is stunning.
Like, she's tiny.
Yeah.
I hope she goes so far. And just off of the fact that she just like, she seems like such a genuine fucking person. And I will say this, Joe gives 110% of his attention and his effort to his fans. Grace might give 111%. You know what I mean? Like, that woman, every single interaction she had was so special. I have a friend that met up with her who took a picture on a Polaroid with her, and there was like people in line waiting for their autograph from Grace, and she realized that she didn't refill the film on the Polaroid, and Grace was like, refill it, we'll wait.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, and then the other thing that she told me was that she had this poster for Joe and Grace to sign, and Joe signed right across Chrissy's face. and then she took that poster to Grace, and Grace like pointed at it. She's like, "What the hell? What a dick!"
I can hear that in her voice right now. What the hell?
And then she was like, "You can sign on his face," and she's like, "I'm not gonna ruin your poster, but what a dick!"
Right. There is something about, like, I don't know if it's something new, but there was something about this con. He signed his J so big. Like, look how long this line is.
Yeah.
It looks super cool on this.
Yeah.
But like, even on your jacket, it's perfect on your jacket because it's a big space. And to watch him do the J, and he's so precise about how he signs things. He will literally go.
Oh yeah, he takes his time. He takes his time with that line, and I would even
say, make sure it looks good.
I would even say that if you were to cut that J, that top of that J in half, that autograph line might have gone by twice as fast because it was.
I was going to tell you. We'll go more into detail about like our autograph here in just in a little bit, but there's a part of me that thinks that the reason he's either doing it just because that's how he does it, that's his natural way of signing, or maybe that's just his way of giving us just a little more time with him, because that is such a long line. I watched him sign your jacket and it was literally like,
that's so funny.
Well, it gave me all the time in the world to tell him about our podcast. But we'll get to that. I mean, I think the rest of Saturday was spent looking at other artists and exhibitors that had all this amazing Eddie Munson art. And then Danielle saw some amazing stuff too.
I don't know what you're referring to, but
what
I
are
just
you referring
something about Raphael on Friday, who also is the sweetest little bean I've ever seen in my whole entire life. That whole cast is full of such amazing people. So we come around the corner back into like the autograph section where everybody was sitting, and everybody is huddled up by the merch guy, who we'll talk about in a second as well.
Oh,
he is amazing.
Giovanni.
Because Joe is about to walk out and leave for the night. So we're walking up on this and the crowd just starts, wow! And those are the pictures that you saw on our TikTok where he's like waving and you get the double cheeked up on a Sunday picture. So those were where those photos came from. But we come back and we meet up with Summer and a few other people that we had already met. And Summer runs up to me and she's like, you guys will never guess what's showing up on my phone. Raphael had his freaking AirDrop turned on his phone. So he had his AirDrop turned on. And so then everybody starts yelling at Raphael as he's leaving. They're like, Raphael, your AirDrop is on. And he's like, what? And then he's like trying to like understand what people are saying. But then we're like, your AirDrop. I don't think he ever got it, but
I don't think, I wonder if they airdropped like a video that said, turn off your AirDrop. Man.
Because it wasn't on for the rest of the week. Because I think I checked in with Summer later on like Saturday or Sunday morning. Yeah. And I think she said, I don't think they ever saw it again. But can
you imagine if something said Joseph's iPhone?
No, I think that building would have probably imploded.
You're absolutely correct. I feel like the con would have found out and they would have been like, nope, turn that shit off immediately.
You need to turn that off or you're going to start getting some things that you do not want airdropped to you.
Can you imagine it just says Joseph?
Joseph. I mean, can we talk about Sunday now?
Yes.
Well, I just want to let everyone know that I did get my baggage that evening, Saturday evening. So I got my shit.
She got her shit. It was such a good day.
She did.
After 26 hours, but it's fine.
Well, we can't talk about Sunday yet because there is one little detail that we have to tell the people about because the people want to know how we got that sweet, sweet smirk of Joe in our group picture.
I think that's your story.
So Saturday night, before we dove into New Orleans
shenanigans
style, we decided that just an autograph and a photo with Joe was just not enough for us. And we also had heard that if you have one ticket purchased, you can have up to 4 people in your photo. So we said, let's do a group photo. And so we purchased a group photo. And then this is when the Quinn Pod girls, the Quintessential girls got together and put their little thinking machines together. And we said, we have to do something for the people. And so we got to thinking, we were brainstorming. So we all know the Joe Con smile, his natural closed mouth.
I call it the Miranda Priestley.
A Miranda Priestley.
Are you ready? It's
we
the little tiny mouth.
No. It's just a teeny little smile. He's like me.
Yeah. So we all love it. We know it. We adore it. We love Joe, right? We said we have to do something to get like an open mouth smile, see those teeth, right? Get a little laugh. Because we get like 7 of those a con, right?
Yeah.
Like they're little treats.
Few and far between.
They're like little morsels.
Yeah.
So we decided that we were gonna yell right before the picture started, like gets taken. Everybody say blank. Okay. Yeah. So we went through
we went back and forth.
Options. We said cheese, we said bread, we said salty butter. And we decided on a word. And so we get to the con on Sunday. I'm not going to tell you what the word is yet because I'm a cheeky fucker. So we get to the con, we get in line, and I will tell you, it does get a little bit easier to see him as the weekend goes by, but it also makes sense why people want to see him more now that we've done a con. And
I gotta tell you, it makes more sense. I never understood why people just kept spending so much money. Now I'm like, take all my money.
Right. Because like, I think all in all, with the 3 interactions that we had with him, we maybe had 40 seconds. 20. I felt like it was a good 40 seconds.
Yeah, maybe.
With our autograph, felt like it was we had 30. A good chunk of time in the autograph. Okay, so we're in line. We get in there. First thing out of his mouth, he looks at Laura and says, "You look incredible."
Come on now.
Followed with, "You look amazing" to me and Shannon.
I look straight out the 80s. I was wearing baggy jeans and my Joseph Quinn t-shirt. Like I was like keeping it easy that day.
Laura, you were the real MVP that day, and don't ever let anybody steal your shine, girl.
Laura was all legs.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yes, ma'am. She's frightened. Stop. We're complimenting you.
Thank you. I'm like fidgeting with my like tripod right now. I'm like,
So Joe like grabs my hand, pulls me in. Shannon jumps in front. Laura goes to the other side. She's smushed between Joe and Grace.
That's a great position to be in for sure.
It was honestly like I like nestled in there. I like nestled into him, and I was like, "Hi, buddy."
Hey, friend.
Can you real quick before we talk about can you tell us about the Grace interaction that you had? Because you're really the only one that had really any type of interaction with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Like after we took the photo, I turned to her and I said, "You're so special. I've been watching you this weekend and I think you're absolutely amazing." And she was like, "You're amazing." And then she like throws her hands up to give me a hug. And I'm like, "No, seriously, you're so great."
You got a
She
Grace
said,
hug?
"Thank you so much." Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I hugged her. She was so
That's
sweet.
so special.
Yeah.
Have you just been holding that in like a little bubble to yourself?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. She was so sweet.
I love that for you.
I was like, I know this is really fast and I have to tell you, I was like, "You're amazing. I've been watching you all weekend. You're so special." Like, and then she was like, "Don't be special. You're amazing." And then we like hugged and I said, "Okay, bye." And then I walked right past Joe. Didn't even look at him. I was like, "Bye, bro."
Oh my God. I love that. Yeah. I have been wanting to ask you about that because I think I said, "Hi, Joe." Hi. Very quickly, but I didn't get to physically talk to Grace. And so I love that one of us got to like talk to her and experience her. And I love that. That's lovely. The moment you've all been waiting for. The reason we got a chuckle and a cute little smirk is because
So we're all there. We're all getting ready.
And I'm nestled in there.
The camera's ready to go. And Danielle says,
"Everybody say road oysters."
And I say road oysters. I think it was just me. I don't think anyone else said it.
So the picture, you guys have all seen it. It's fantastic. It is fantastic. Look at this. Look at that
cute little face.
So I will tell you that I have been going between the wink and the chuckle back and forth because keep in mind, I'm nestled up against him. So our sides of our bodies are like up against each other. You didn't audibly hear the chuckle, but I felt it. So I know that he thought it was funny. I felt like yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah. But that little smirk, he's like, "These bitches." But we got our cute little smirk in our group picture. And to think I almost backed out. I almost chickened out. I was like, "Danielle, this is stupid. Don't do it."
I'm so glad you didn't.
Me too. I totally forgot about it when I got in there because like when everyone was flooding in, I was like, "Oh, where do I go?" "Oh, in the front." Okay. So then I was like just getting into my squat.
Yeah.
and then she said, I was like, "Road oysters." Like I remembered after you said it. I was like, I gotta say it.
Yeah. That was so fun.
Great. That's a core memory for me right there.
For sure. Well, and the thing is, it was one of those like last minute decisions. And I think that might've been my favorite moment for us, even as a group, was that photo and that moment all together. We weren't going to do that when the weekend started. And then randomly we were like, "We got to do this." Like, we
have to.
So I'm so glad we did.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we're talking about Sunday, so Sunday was also the day of the panel. Now, if you know anything about these panels that Joseph is involved in, is that they are jam fucking packed. Okay. Mm-hmm. They are jam packed. And so we got our photo. We went over to where the panel was. We ran into Holly, who was one of the listeners that we met at the meetup on Friday. And we were trying to figure out how to save our spots. And Holly volunteered to save our spots. And oh my God, was she a lifesaver?
10 out of 10, lights out. She came in clutch for us on Sunday.
So hard. I mean, and it was so tough because that autograph table, so many things went wrong leading up to it.
We should get into it.
So what I will say is real quick, and I want to talk about Holly and then I'll get into the autograph. We ended up after our autograph, we made it back to the panel. We got the seats. And Holly, thank you so, so, so much for taking the time out of your day. She goes by the Truly Fallen on TikTok.
Yeah. So if you're not following her, definitely go give her a follow. Tell her that the girl sent you and give her lots and lots of love.
She's trying to grow her account. So definitely go give her some love. So that morning of the autograph, we had agreed to do our autograph first and then go take the photo with Joe and Grace. The problem was that we needed to scan our autograph and exchange that scan for a physical ticket. So we did that on Friday. We agreed we wanted to do it at 10:30. So that Friday, when we decided not to go out, we were messing around, we were joking around about TikTok ideas and content and blah, blah, blah. And we said, oh my God, how funny would it be if we took all of our 3 tickets and stuck them in a Bible?
Yeah.
To talk about how we're like protecting it, because no one will look after our tickets as good as Jesus would look after our tickets. You know what I mean? Like that. The only person we would trust with
Holy
those
Ghost
tickets
and
is
Holy Spirit.
the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
And the Holy Ghost.
The Holy Trinity.
Exactly. Yep.
And so we put our tickets in there. Sunday rolls around. We do our makeup. We get out the door. And by the time that we make it to the con at 10 o'clock, tickets are still in the Bible. So then we walk up to the guy and I'm like, hey, guy.
Thanks, Jesus. No.
Hey, friend. Can I have an extra ticket, or can we just like come back with our tickets later, or what do you want? And he's like, you got to use our tickets. You can come back, but we need those tickets. So we ended up having to go take our photo and then come back for the ticket. Now, when we come back for the ticket at the 1:30 slot, that was the last signature session they were doing for Joe. And when I tell you the whole weekend, everything was so smooth from an operational standpoint.
Yeah.
Fan Expo really fucking crushed it. Everything was it was butter, honestly. Yeah. They were getting these photo ops done in 20, 30 minutes. It was amazing. And so that last autograph table, they kept selling and selling and selling and selling. And they ended up overbooking Joe to the point where it cut into the panel time, right? So Danielle and I are rushing to get the tickets. We come back. We think we're going to miss the time. We don't actually miss the time because they're being more flexible with getting in line. So we're waiting around the merch table.
Giovanni.
Where our friend Giovanni is at. I got Giovanni a drink because the second day on Saturday, I look over and this man is just rubbing his temples because he could not believe the absolute shit show he had just experienced. People freaking out to see Joseph, right? I bought him a drink. We're like this at this point. The day of the autograph, Sunday rolls around. We want to put our stuff by where he's at and he lets us. Now, each of us had planned to give Joseph a gift. I was originally going to give him the patches. That shit didn't work out. And then I was going to give him a few shooters of tequila. That didn't work out. Shannon had gotten him a Legolas action figure because he was such a massive fan of Orlando Bloom and Lord of the Rings. And she also really likes Orlando Bloom. And Danielle was going to give him this adorable mug, ceramic mug that her mom had gotten at an artist's market that said, let me guess, you have your own podcast. And she was like, I'm going to give it to Joe 3 months ago.
Shut the fuck up. It was not that long ago.
2 months ago. It was like at the beginning.
That's better.
2.5. Okay. It was like November. So she has been talking about getting Joseph this mug forever. And
perfect.
It was a great mug. She had the mug like in a little baggie. It was protected. It was like taken care of. Anyways, we get to the autograph table. She puts the mug on top of a box. She puts her thing that she's going to have signed on top of the mug. My jacket's underneath all of it, whatever. We keep talking. It's time to get up and get in line. I grab my jacket and all you hear is the mug crash against the concrete floor of the convention center and it shatters.
I got to see Laura's face and Danielle's face at the same time.
And when I tell you the blood evaporated from my body, froze, not evaporated, it froze.
Laura was
the blood left my face. I look at Danielle and I saw Danielle experience every single stage of grief in a span of 5 fucking seconds. Okay. It was anger. It was denial. It was bargaining. It was like sadness, acceptance, like, and the silence in that area, we were deafening. It was fucking.
And people were around them,
deafening.
Watched it happen.
They all saw it happen. Danielle couldn't even fucking turn around to look at the mug. She like processed every bit of emotion, and then she was comfortable enough to turn around. By the time that she turned around to find me, I was gone. I was gone. I was mid panic attack. And then, do you guys remember Summer? Remember how we said Summer came in to save the day? This is fucking why. This girl followed me from where we were standing as I'm power walking my way, myself, up and down the fucking exhibit floor looking for a fucking vendor to find something to replace this shit with. I am hyperventilating. This woman's like, you need to calm down. It's going to be okay. It's not that bad. And I'm like, it's not that bad. And I was like, this girl's been talking about giving Joseph this mug for 2 months. I just took that away from her. I can't do it. I gotta find a replacement. And she's like, okay. And I was like, there's a guy that was selling mugs on the other side of the hall. And I walked over there. I asked him, and I didn't actually start crying until I made it to the mug guy, and I started telling him what happened. And then I started crying and hyperventilating at the same time. And here's the thing. It sounds dramatic. I understand that. But it was my first time meeting Danielle. It was the first time we were going to be able to tell Joseph about the podcast. It was like the most interaction we were going to be able to have with Joe. And we had been rehearsing what we were going to say to him. And that mug was the center. In what order? That mug was the center of what Danielle was going to fucking say to him. I took away her entire fucking experience. She had to wing it. And I was like, fuck this. I talked to the mug guy. He couldn't do anything about it. Then he directed me somewhere else that had like flasks and tumblers. And I was like, I need something about, are you customizing like on site? No. And then I found this girl. I went to like 5 or 6 vendors. By the 6th one, I found this girl who was engraving rings on site. And I was like, can I talk to you? And she thought I was like hurt. I mean, she thought I was in trouble, which I was in my mind. Meanwhile, Shannon's calling me like, Laura, come back. She's not bad. You're fine. I was like, I'm having a flask engraved. So I tell her what's going on. She said, just find something with metal. So I go back to the flask people. I pick up the flask. It's got some like Lord of the Rings shit. And I'm like, great. This is what you're going to put on the mug. I was like, put exactly what was on Danielle's mug here. I was like, I'll pay you anything. So Summer recorded the entire engraving process, which like, what a saint. And then, I went back to Danielle and I like handed her the thing. And she was like, I wasn't mad. I kind of accepted it. And I was like, okay.
The funniest part about this is like, I was told that you went to go get like a broom or something. So like I was talking to people that were walking up and telling me about the podcast, and I was just having the best time. And you're out here having like an existential crisis.
You
and
have
I had
no
idea.
I was not okay.
And then after I contacted Laura and she told me what was happening, I was giving Danielle riddles of like what she was fucking getting.
I'm like, what is happening?
I was like, it's something that holds liquid that you're trying to hide in public of what you're drinking. And she's like, I don't know. And then she comes up with a flask and it's like, oh, okay.
It was honestly perfect though. If there was a substitute to this perfect mug that I had, you did an amazing job. It truly was perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, anyways, I'm not going to dwell on it because I'm going to get... Anyway, so we got in the line.
Yeah, we'll make a video of it. We documented everything. So we'll make a chronicles of the Cupgate.
So we get in line.
Yeah, so we get in...
I mean, the line was not moving at one point. It was tragic because they were trying to figure out what they were going to do.
Yeah. I got scared that they were going to be like, I'm so sorry. Like, because it was already cutting into his last photo op of the day before the panel. And I said, you guys, the curtain is closed. We're not going to get our autographs. And so you kind of go through that moment of like, what's going on? I mean, we were at a standstill for probably 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to figure out they had probably like 200 people lined up for an autograph, and they had another 177 lined up for a photo op on the other side of the exhibit hall. And it was 3:45. The panel started at 4.
Yeah.
I mean, so eventually they decided they weren't going to do like the personalizations, which is when they put your name on whatever you're having signed. And so eventually it just became like, come in, say hello, he'll just sign your name, and then you can go on your way. Yeah. So we met some amazing people in line. Marissa, who actually also happens to live here in Jacksonville. And then the curtain opens and
there's our boy.
And there he is. I'm first.
Yeah.
And I look over and I'm like, Alex is his manager. I'm like, you look very, hey, how are you? Like, I was like, your jacket looks nice. It's a Burberry fucking jacket.
He's wearing a Burberry jacket.
Of course I'm going to fucking compliment it. I'm like, I love your jacket. Are you so ready to be done with this? Anyways.
We got to get in with the manager. It's fine.
Right. I get in front of Joseph. I maybe glance at his eyes once and then I blacked out. But he says, I hand him my jacket and he's like, where do you want it? And I'm like, right there, below that massive logo that says the Quinn-tessentials podcast. And then I point to the logo and I said, you actually inspired our podcast. And he goes, you have a podcast? And I'm like, yeah, it's about you. And we talk about you and people that you've inspired, and we talk about what you got going on. And he says, thank you so much. And then he reaches over and he shakes my hand. And I mean,
should I play it?
Yeah. Oh my God, Danielle made the most amazing edit.
Okay.
Were you getting emotional there, Laura?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. It's so big. Oh.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is us telling our favorite boy about our podcast.
Hello, love. 20.
How are you? You inspire our podcast.
You have a podcast?
Yes, it's kind of about you and everybody that you've inspired.
Wow. No, thank you so much. Thank you. That's really sweet of you. And then here we go.
Have a good day.
Like, hello? Oh, Shannon.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm just so happy.
I know we've worked really, really hard for that moment, and to just see all of our manifestations like come forward and like meet all the people that we met, and just to like be able to stand in front of him and tell him about this podcast. To tell him like we were doing this because of how amazing of a person you are. And if he never listens to it, he never listens to it. But like, just to like see all of our hard work in the community that we've built and are continuing to try to build and create a safe space for people in and out of the toxicity that this fandom is, like, it's absolutely amazing because there was nothing but love in that building all weekend.
Yeah, 100%.
And I mean, just to be able to tell him and to see, like, Laura may not have looked, but I watched him the whole time, you guys, and he was truly just like, I can't believe that they take time out of their day to have a podcast about me. And he genuinely looked so excited, in my opinion. And
he knows. And so it's been so like, I mean, there's been this like, does he or doesn't he type of conversation that's been happening, you know, over the course of the last few months. And we haven't been able to really like confirm or deny. And there truly is no better feeling than to be able to be the person that tells him. It's so gratifying to be there, to be present when you tell him. Because I mean, listen, would it have been great if he was like, oh, I've heard about this? And then you would have been like, yeah, you know?
Yeah.
But to be able to be like, we do this. And he's like, that's amazing. Like, thank you so much, or whatever he said. I don't have words for that. So we got to see that firsthand. It was such a treat. And I mean, there's no fucking way in hell any of this would have happened without the support of the people that listen.
Got you guys.
And then I talked to his mom.
And talk to his
Oh my God.
His mom is a gem.
Yeah. I mean, she was wearing the most beautiful Dior scarf. And then Danielle got to talk to him. What did you do with the flask?
Yeah, so while I'm talking to Joe, Laura's just over here chatting it up with Mama Quinn. I loved that for her. Yeah, so then I scooted on over and I made a promise to myself that no matter what I practiced saying, no matter what I was going to say, I was not breaking eye contact with this man. And I held eye contact with him the whole time.
Bitch.
And photos and videos do not do it justice.
No.
All I have to say is, for those out there that are saying they're never going to meet him, you will meet him someday, and his eyes are life-changing. Like, I'm pretty sure it cured my seasonal depression and has altered all of my brain chemistry. Like, I'm a changed woman. He said, hello. And I go, hi, nice to see you. And then I kind of like froze for a sec. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be freaking doing something right now. So then I slid the flask towards him, words side up. And I said, this is just a daily reminder that you have the podcast that's inspired by you. And he goes, oh, thank you so much. Like, because he took a second to read it. And he goes, I appreciate it, or something along those lines. And so then I put my photo on the table and he went to sign it. And in that moment, I decided that I was just going to let him have a moment of silence because like he was going so fast. And I was like, I just want to give this man a pocket apiece, if that makes sense. Not only because I was collecting myself because I was in front of him, but just long enough for him to make the really long J line on his signature was all he got from me. And then he looked up at me and he smiled and I go, how are you? And he goes, I'm really, really good. Thank you. He goes, I'm just really sorry that I'm against the clock. And he like took my hand and I looked at him and I said, don't be sorry. And his eyes, like, you know, when you look at somebody in the eye and you just know what they're saying is so true and so genuine and so heartfelt, like you could see in his eyes that he was so disappointed that he had to fly through the last handful of autographs. And I said, don't be sorry. I go, we're just excited to be here. And he goes, thank you so much. And he like squeezed my hand and I go, okay, bye. And then at this point, Laura is asking Mama Quinn about her beautiful scarf. Tell her what she said.
I look over and I'm like, oh, that's a really beautiful scarf. And she says, thank you. Joseph got it for me. And this is while Shannon's getting her signature and having her interaction. And then, then Danielle goes, oh, what a lovely son.
I was delusional at this point. I was on a high.
She was high. She was high on Joseph. I tell you what.
I was high on Joseph. I almost had that Joe glow. Yeah. So then, Shannon, listen, tell the people about your time with Joe.
I hope it was assumed that I was with you guys and that I was also part of the podcast.
Yes, the first time out of the whole weekend, this was the first time that we got to present ourselves as a group besides our group photo. Like we were able to go to the tent, all three of us together.
Yeah. I just hope that was clear to Joe. Cause like y'all gave him like podcast related things. And I'm over here like, here's a Legolas action figure, you know?
You were wearing the same jacket as us. You had the logo.
Okay.
You know,
okay. So, I just want to make sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So I get up there and he's focused on signing my picture. And and then I'm like, hi Joe. And then he was like, this is for you. And then I hand him the Legolas action figure all in the box and everything. And I said, and this is for you. And he was like, oh my God. And I was like, I've listened to the audio a few times that I recorded too. He's like, oh my God. And then I was like, yeah, I love Orlando Bloom too. I wish I said like, I grew up watching Lord of the Rings too, but I was like, I love Orlando Bloom too. And then I think he said, thank you so much. And I was like, you're welcome. And then I knew that he was pressed for the clock. So I just like ran out of there. I didn't even look at his mom. I wanted to see what she looked like so I could compare like dad and mom and faces. And
she's so cute.
Well, that's pretty much all the interaction really. Then we went to the panel.
And then we went to the panel. And I mean, the panel at that point, Holly was still there, holding it down, holding strong, like with the best seats ever, mind you. The panel was a little short because it started maybe 25 minutes late.
Yeah.
After the panel ended, that's when the convention was like, it's over, go home. They were like, we don't want you anywhere near our shit. You're going to start unloading or what is it? Tearing down. So you got to go. Right. But I mean, the energy in that panel was incredible. Raphael, wow. I mean, listening to that kid talk and the way he presents himself, I was so proud. And I hate to say it because like I don't know him like that, and but I was so proud of him. Like, and he had lost his voice, and even the moderator was like, you know what, like we'll just get a couple questions in so we can spare your voice. And he was like, no, I'm here to talk.
Yeah.
Like, don't spare me. And so, I mean, the kid was a rock star. And then they had asked them like what their dream roles were. And Grace was like, I'd love to be a serial killer. And I was like, oh, you're such a badass. Raphael said he would love to be in a series kind of like Friends that just ran for years and years. I could absolutely see him doing something like that. And then Joe said, holding a lightsaber would be cool.
Yep.
Or maybe a pirate. Hello?
We lost our fucking minds.
He literally like said it 3 times. He goes, I want to be a pirate. I'd like to be a pirate. I want to be a pirate.
The only thing he didn't say was, Alex, make me a pirate. You know what I mean? Like, and at that point, everybody was yelling, Young Barbosa. I mean, come on. I need a Barbosa origin story.
Was that the laugh that you recorded, Danielle, when he turned and looked at you?
Yeah, because I think he heard Laura go, Young Barbosa.
Yeah. And he looked up. Oh my God. If it happens, I would like a recording. Even episode 5, when we were talking about fan casting, like what we'd like to see him in. We talked about this on episode 5 of season 1 of this podcast.
Yep.
So
can you imagine him saying, hello, puppet?
Dead. Laura's passed away. I would say though, before, like, the last thing we'll really say about the panel is we've seen a lot of panels with Joe. We've seen some with moderators and we've seen some where there's just questions. And this kind of touches on what we said about how in tune the staff was with the convention. This was such a smooth convention. Like, we have no ill will towards Fan Expo for our delay and like none whatsoever, because they also just wanted to give fans the opportunity to meet him. Their moderator for this panel was so great. He kept it on a strict timeline because we had to be done by a certain time. He engaged with the fans and he also made sure to get really good answers from all 3 of them. Normally, they of course asked questions that we had heard before, but some of them were just a little bit different to where we got a little bit more. But Joe was into it. The whole panel, he was giving us great answers. He was interacting with the fans and
he was honestly, so comfortable.
He was very comfortable. That moderator made all 3 of them very comfortable.
Can we talk about the peacoat?
Yes, we can.
Because I understand that it could have just been cold. I can.
It was a chilly walk down that aisle away from his photo op to the panel room.
From the photo op to the panel room, he put on his peacoat. That man walked out like it was a Christian Dior runway. I mean, the strut, the coat, the boots. Do you remember how we thought he looked pretty? I was like, he's pretty tall, like next to you there, Danielle. He had like an 1.5 inch boot on.
Yeah.
I mean,
speaking of this peacoat, I read this tweet before we started filming and I've been saving it for you to bring it up. So this is from Haneen Munson at Castiella.
Yeah.
She said, I can't get over the fact that Joseph walked on stage with a coat only to take it off in front of everybody because he finally knows about all the power he holds.
Thank you. That is the perfect
Joseph.
That is a perfect description of what happened. I couldn't have said it better myself. Can we close it on that?
Yeah, 100%.
That's it. Who tweeted that? Can we give him a plug?
Yeah, at Castiella.
Go give that person a follow.
She's an icon.
She figured it out. Let's plug our socials. How about that?
Oh my God, we haven't done this in so long.
Oh my God.
So my TikTok is DEEE Young. My Instagram is Miss Danielle, MISSDANYELL. And then I also run the podcast TikTok, which is at the Quinn-tessentials. And then our Twitter and our Instagram are both at the Quinn-pod.
So on Instagram, I'm Starry Eyes, STARRYYEYES. And then on TikTok, I'm What's Up, Shannon. Come say what's up.
You should switch your TikTok to Where's Shannon?
Donde está Shannon?
Oh, that's a good one too. Or you should switch your Instagram to Where's Shannon, because let me tell you, that was the key question on Friday and Saturday. Nobody cared about us. Everybody, all they wanted to know was where you were at. My socials are, don't do it, D. Laura Vanessa, both on TikTok and Instagram. Laura with an H at the end and Vanessa with an H at the end.
I did it.
I'm not going to explain it. Just fucking follow me or don't. Do you, boo-boo. This has been the start of season 2.
Yay!
We're back.
You tune in. We're back, baby. And we are coming in hot next week with part 2 of the convention. We're going to have some special guests on, and we're going to have them talk about their experiences, and we're going to dive a bit deeper into the con itself. So thank you so much.
And I hope that some of our guests can also dive a little bit into New Orleans, because they got to experience New Orleans in a really great way. So I would love to hear about that too.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming back for season 2. We are going to be bigger and better than ever. We cannot wait. Thank you so much.
We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye. What a fun time.
Oh,
That was right.